This is Twit.
You know, you kind of got to plan in advance what you're going to need for field day. That's what I wanted to look at today. When we did this 3 years ago, we set up a wiki and used that so that each of us could go look at the wiki and add things and check off things that we were going to bring, and we could do it from wherever we were. Well, this year we kind of did the same thing, except we used a Google Doc. So let's take a look at our field day stuff. Here's our list of stuff. I created this using a spreadsheet in Google Docs, and we've just put a title on it here as to what it is. And we'll save this doc, and next year we'll have it to look back, and maybe we'll amend it some between now and then. But basically, we're carrying some radios. We're carrying an IC7000, an IC7200, an FT857D, and a TS450S. And maybe a handy-talkie for a 2-meter repeater talk-in. Now, me and Tommy and Wayne are setting all of this up. We might have others attend, but we're primarily the ones getting things together for this. So we put an X under our name as to who's bringing what. And we see both Tommy and I are bringing FT857Ds, and I'm also bringing a TS450S. My two rigs here are backups that are on the shelf that never get used, so field day is a perfect opportunity to take those out and exercise them a little bit. Of course, we won't have all these radios set up and going at once. We'll just swap them in and out as we like. We'll need power supplies, of course, and I'm taking a little MFJ 30 amp. We're also carrying an Astron 12 amp, and this will probably be used for a rig that will be running PSK 31 on, since we won't need quite as much current on that one. Tommy's bringing an MFJ 30 amp, and he's bringing his solar panels and a 12 ampere hour battery for some QRP action. And I'm going to throw a UPS in as well. Since we will have computers there for logging, we might as well have them on a UPS, so if the generator kind of burps, it won't be a big deal. Now, you notice Wayne hasn't filled in anything yet. We're not sure exactly what he's bringing, but we have shared this dock with him, so he'll have access to it as well. I'm bringing a tuner here. It's an LDG 100 auto tuner that I'll use with some of the wire antennas. Tommy is not bringing a tuner or has not listed it yet. Neither has Wayne. For antennas, I'm going to bring a mystery antenna, and we're going to try to get that up, and that'll allow us to work 80 meters and some of the higher bands. Tommy's going to bring the MFJ Big Ears with a tripod, and he won't need a tuner for that since you can tune the antenna itself. And I've got a question mark here by a Butternut Vertical. I bought this used from Jim several years ago, and he had bought it used. I have not used it yet. I'm thinking I might take that out and use it for 20 meters this time around. And we're also carrying an MFJ 40 meter off-center fed dipole. Now, Wayne's probably going to bring some antennas as well. We're not sure exactly what, and we won't need that many antennas, but at least we'll have some to choose from. Coax, it looks like we're lacking a little bit in now. I'm going to carry 100 foot of RG213, and another piece that's 35 foot long. Tommy's bringing 70 foot of RG8X, and I know Wayne's got a lot of coax. Not sure what he's going to bring. We're going to need some rope to hang those wire antennas with, and we're just going to bring some nylon trot line for that, since this will be a temporary installation just for field day, so that rope should be plenty good. We don't have a potato gun this year, so we're going to use a slingshot and some fishing line to get our wire antennas up in the tree. And I put a question mark here. I don't own a fishing reel. I'm hoping Tommy or Wayne will check that off there because it makes it a little easier with the slingshot. I'll use a lead weight, and we'll just tie the fishing line to the end of it. Once we've got that in the tree, we'll pull up the trot line. Now, for generators, we're going to try to run emergency power here and not rely on commercial power. So I've got a 5,000 watt Coleman generator that just got a brand new carburetor, so it should be good to go.
Uh-oh.
And I just put 5 gallons of pure gasoline in it today, no ethanol. And I also got another 5 gallons of pure gasoline that we'll bring in a jug. And of course, we're going to need some extension cords and some power strips to go with this as well. For tents, we're going to bring a screened-in canopy because we're going to be out in the country and the mosquitoes could be bad. Tommy says he thinks he has a tarp for flooring in it, and I'm going to bring a tarp or two just in case. We have another category here called Other, just to bring stuff that didn't fit into the other categories. I'm going to bring a cot to sleep on. Tommy and I are both bringing chairs. Tommy's going to bring a table, so we're going to need one more table at least. We've got tarp listed twice here, so I can probably remove this line right here. I'm going to bring some clamp-on 110-volt lights just to have some lighting around the site. For video, Tommy's going to bring a softbox and a stand. We'll also bring a ground rod, and he has not checked that off, but I did check with him since he's been on the document here, and he does have one. And I'll bring some ground wire for us to use with that. And if you got one, you might as well bring your antenna analyzer. It could help make those antenna setups go a little quicker. And I might bring my Megger. That's a good instrument for checking the breakdown resistance of your cables. Of course, this is going to be out in the country in Mississippi, and it's hot. So we're going to bring some fans. I'm going to bring one or two. Tommy's going to bring another one. And just in case we have to go way back in the woods, I'm going to bring an electric chainsaw. And looks like we're both going to bring battery-powered weed eaters, a handsaw in case we need that, some pruning shears to get branches and any small trees that might be growing up in the area. Of course, we need some off insect repellent. And I'm going to bring a couple pair of headphones here so that we don't have so many radios blasting out at once that no one can think. And I might bring my AR drone and its batteries. You know, that's one of those little quadcopters with the camera on it, and it could be handy for just getting some video footage of where we're at. And for computers, we're going to use laptops with the Squirrel Logger program. So far, Tommy and I have checked off that we'll be bringing those. We'll use a wireless router to network these together, and Tommy's going to bring some digital mode software and interface so that we can work PSK31 and some of the other digital modes if we want to. And then I've got one more section down here for notes. I need to program the voice keyer in the IC7000. That'll save my voice a little bit during field day. And I might bring an external mic and a foot switch. Haven't made up my mind on that. We've got so many items on here, I just may not get around to that. But here you go. This is how we plan our field day. We just put it in this Google Doc here. All of us can look at it and edit it as need be, so that when we get on site, there's a much better chance that we're going to have what we need.
Oh, man.
Well, there you go. That's our planning for field day. I didn't have one item on there that I actually ended up building, and that's an external keypad for my IC7000 that will key the voice memories in it. So instead of me sitting there saying CQ field day in my call sign 100 or 1,000 times and wearing my voice out, I can just press a button there and let the radio say it for me. So that'll save us a little time too, and I can keep my hand on the keyboard to type in those log entries. We're going to use the Squirrel Logger program. It's a lot easier than the N1MM that Val showed us. It's not quite as comprehensive in the things that it does, but it does give you the basic field day log format there without much work.